Alright, where do I begin? We're at Charlotte, but the Roval, the new layout, which was run last year by the real guys, but this is our first time. And I don't like it, but not really for the reason you're thinking. Anyways, let's show the keys to the race car. Just simple this week. You see where it says bumpy as hell. Trust me, you'll know right away what I'm talking about. Mostly turn 1 and the final corner. And the new layout too. That's where some things are a problem. And number 2 is well, you'll see me use a lot of curb, but only certain curbs, because certain ones are a no-no, and the car does not like it. And the third one is just, well, the new layout. And to me it sucks, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of change, I'll just say that. Now I would have a weathered tab open, but it sucks ass on the new UI. And you see the extra notes on the side. You can probably tell me what that's from, but yeah, let's just get to the lap because I forgot about pit road. You saw it already. The speed limit is 40. So anyways, let's get to the lap. All right, this was fixed setup, fixed weather. Except I used the A fixed weather because, well, it's warmer. The NIS was quite cool. You'll probably see 20s in that race, but for the regular A fixed, high 21s are the quick guys, and where I'm at is a little bit slower than that, so don't expect any miracles. And you can get it done on the second lap, but the majority have been lap 1. But remember, it's still tires. You gotta take care of tires. I forgot to mention it. For the first time in how many years? I forgot to mention tires, but yeah, you gotta do that. Oh, the only changes I made to this set was the brake bias, the steering ratio. Brake bias went down to only 54.2. I did try like 50, it just was not working out for me, so yeah. And 264 steering, so here we go. Gotta make our way to 1. That part right there itself is tricky, but here I'm looking at this little 2 marker and the 1, so let's stop right here. You see the 1 up there? That's pretty much telling me to get out the brake and turn in. The 2, when I see it in view, 2 and 3, I'm starting to do some braking. It's like in the in-between. So I'm gonna start braking like pretty much right here, relatively hard. No downshifts. So you got this. Here's the 1 marker I'm talking about. I'm already starting to turn just to get away from that, but I should be getting off the brake right around here. You can use some extra brake there to make sure you're slowed down enough because it is quite important. Now here's one of those curbs that looks like you want to hit, but no, don't touch it. No, really, with this setup, don't touch it because it bounces. I get really close to that outside wall, but don't touch it because that's a 2x waiting for you, and it will damage the car. The car is still bouncing like crazy. Don't use too much throttle because it will snap. Get really close to the inside wall, but don't hit it, obviously. There's going to be a lot of slow-mo if you can't tell. Here you want to track out, and use all the track. Get it to the left as much as you can, but don't force yourself that way because it could spell disaster, as in backing the rear end into the wall. Yes, I've done it. Get really close to the big sausage. That's one of the curbs you want to use here. Just the regular curb. You barely want to get off into this, candy cane looking thing. Use a little bit of brake also through that whole section, just to make sure you're slow enough to get to this curb. I'm at the absolute limit of front grip. I throttle up to kind of fix that, but it ends up about killing me here. You see I got loose. We're gonna upshift real quick. Pretty much the setup for this corner. And we're gonna downshift really quick. The minute I get off the throttle and on the brakes, I'm downshifting to 3rd. Now, I've seen some people leave it in 4th, and you can do it that way. Just I can't be bothered with shifting in the next part. Now this is where things changed from last year. We would normally keep turning right, and keep turning right, and keep turning right. And then left to the straight. But here we're turning right just for this corner. You want to throttle up pretty much once you get it pointed, so right here. Bam, right at the curb. Throttle up all the way out to the candy cane again. Now here's the tricky one because you can't see it. But I'm using this little red square here to tell me to turn to the right. Now this, I'm going to tell you right now, if you saw it in the intro lap, I did not get through here the way I wanted to. It kind of just did its own thing. But you can see I downshifted relatively quick. Now I'm trying to aim for that little curb there. You just want to graze it, but you can see, look, the front end's not on the ground. Front end's not on the ground. Now it is. Now it's not. Now it is. But yeah, you can see I had no front grip. So here we're going to be looking at the Sunoco sign, but there's really no, like, good brake marker for me here. I can't see anything that works for me, but let me pause right here. So I'm using that Sunoco, right? You see it there on my left. But I'm also, to get through here the best, you kind of want to bring it more to the right side where the blue line is to set up for the new edition here, which is just a really tight 180. Super tight, actually. But I'm using the Sunoco once I kind of see it disappear from my view. Is when I get on the brakes. And you can see me actually actively trying to switch over to the right while braking, which is not advised. But see, you want to get more that way so you can set up for the exit, but you can't set it up too much because you can't get the power down. I might have slow motored too much, but I'm trying to make a point here. Alright, let me pause it. Let's pause it. You can see through the little window opening there on the left. You know, right by the A-pillar. Roll bar. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of looking at to see the corner. Other than that, you have like no visibility unless you're in VR or triples. As a single monitor, you're a little screwed, so you're aiming for center of the corner. Now you can touch the curb here, but I wouldn't. But the minute we get there, I'm starting to throttle up. But you can't throttle up too much, or you'll cause the differential to get confused, and it'll start doing some weird shit. But once you get it hammered down, you gotta use the space on exit. If you pinch it too much, you'll get yourself some wheel spin, and it'll probably loop. Like, it'll go around. There's no saving it at that point. Alright, so here, I'm gonna pause it right here, because I'm looking at the 6 to 7 mark. You know, the brake zone, I'm probably gonna be hard on the brakes right after the 7. I'm gonna start probably braking really hard around the 7 mark, just after it actually, and we're going all the way down to 2nd gear. So let's slow-mo it. Alright, we go down to gear here, pretty much at the 6. And down to 3rd. And 2nd, you get the point. I don't know why I slow-mo this so much. Wow, I did not think that through. Anyways, down to 2nd gear, and I kind of screwed up a little bit. I probably could have braked just a little bit later and turned in a little bit later. But because I do let it roll way longer than it should have. To one of these curbs, which once I get to it, looks like one of those sausages you can't even look at, or you'll, go to the moon. But this curb in particular, you can use every single bit of it. The car kind of just accepts it. See right there. But here's the kicker. You don't touch the right side one, like, at all. I did, and I bounced a little bit. Lost a 10th immediately. Right there, there's a 10th. So you accelerate hard, and you're gonna get really close to this wall. Just don't worry about it. Now I tried it. Don't try to go down below the blue and white line there. And white line there, because it'll be a slowdown. I paused it here because we're already on the brakes. This is, I would say, relatively late, but I'm sure there's other guys going later because, well, they're nuts. And again, we're going down to 2nd gear, but this is way trickier because there's a lot of footwork, because you're kind of modulating the brakes to keep them from locking, but you're also downshifting and things get weird, which is why we're using the brake rise we're using, is pretty much this corner. So fourth gear, you can see we kind of, back to my topics of it bouncing. You see that's exactly what it does. Now we're going to be looking at this turf here. See on the left exactly where I'm at. Any more to the left and it's a 1X. Alright, so we're already in second gear at this point, and you can see I kind of straightened up the brake zone. And now we're looking at this, well, what they call a curb. This is a little bit of a redesign compared to last year, so I'll be pausing once we get to it. Now you're looking at me like, oh shit, there's no way he's making that corner. Well, all you gotta do is keep like a tire hair on the edge of the white and red of the curb on the left side. But you can pretty much use all of it. Pretty flat curb. You can see that's what I did here. This one's another tricky one that you would think don't hit it and you would be right. In 99% of the cases, if you touch this, you will not get to the corner like this. It gets really weird. If I'm off to the left anymore, I get a 1X. If I'm off to the right anymore, it bounces more. Best case scenario for me in the race would be just completely avoid the curb on this left-hander. Just kind of straddle the white part, and that's it. But I didn't do that. You bounce your way, throttle your way, and upshift, and there you go. Alright, so that's it for this track guide. Hopefully I basically nailed on the points that need to be, I guess, discussed, and with the curbs, I guess, but there's a pit stop, more than likely. Be taking tires, so just remember that. Anyway, Simmerson Chewy side.